Hey, what's going on, my good people? I gave y'all the opportunity to hear the testimony from all the key players in the case of Breasia Terrell. We had Andrea, Henry Dinkins, and DL, her younger brother. They gave us the pieces, they gave us the details. We just had to put it in order. And it was kind of confusing. So I focused on the timeline based off of what they said. And while doing so, I focused on the phone. So, come on, ride with me.
Was Mr. Dinkins somebody that was prone to leaving his cell phone at home when he would go out and about?
No,
Okay. What was his practice relative to his cell phone?
it was attached to his hip.
Okay. Had that always been the case in the 6 years that you'd known him?
Yes.
Yeah. So Andrea is telling us that Henry is always glued to his phone. And you know what? I believe this part of her testimony. I really do. Because we know what type of lifestyle Henry was living. And I know some of y'all watching this video right now, y'all know people that sell drugs. And y'all know how they move with their phones. They always have their phones. Why? Because the phones is the gateway to the money, see? So it was alarming to see Henry's movements during the hours that Breasia came up missing. And again, pay attention to the phones. So let's start at the beginning. This is what they said.
We went to the house, they started playing the games at the house, and then they took their showers, and then they got in the bed. You know, me and Andrea laid down, I got up, I left, came back.
What time did you leave around?
I don't even remember, sir.
Did you guys go to bed at the same time?
No,
Who went to bed first?
me. I meant my sister.
Your sister went to bed first?
Yep.
And what'd you do?
Playing the game for a little bit longer. Then I went to sleep.
Okay. When you went to sleep, was your daddy asleep?
Yeah, I heard him.
You could hear him snoring?
Yep.
Does Andrea snore?
No.
You don't?
Oh, I hear.
Where did you lay down to go to sleep at?
On the air mattress.
Where was Mr. Dinkins at the time that you laid down to go to sleep?
On the couch.
All right. And what was he doing there on the couch?
Playing on his phone.
All right.
And what the sleeping arrangements? How is that? Like
What do
who
you mean?
sleeps where in the house? And
I mean, the kids were in Andrea's room.
okay,
Me and Andrea was sitting out in the living room.
okay,
We was in the living room, and I had left and came back, and then when I left, I think I went down to Lil Ben's house, but nobody was there. And when I came back, you know, I did a little look around. I didn't see Bree. No, that wasn't that time. I don't remember. No, that's a lie. That's a bald-faced lie. It wasn't even at that time. What time was it? I don't ever look at the time, so I mean, I'm really confused with the time.
Timing is everything. And now Henry is trying to play us like he don't know shit. But they tracked this phone, and this is what they told us.
So there's activations at 10:45 p.m. and then next activation with data is not until 3:32 a.m.
Okay.
Okay, so there was no activity on Henry's phone after 10:45. Now, Andrea told us that before she laid down at around 11 that Henry was up on his phone. But after she went to sleep, Henry told us that he left the apartment. And they caught him riding around in the wee hours of the morning. They caught him. Look at him. They found him at Credit Island. And we know that he went to his RV all between 2 and 3 a.m. And don't forget, Andrea told us that she woke up at 3 a.m. And that's when she noticed that Henry and Breasia was not there.
When you noticed that Mr. Dinkins was gone, you noticed that Breasia was gone, what did you do?
First thing I did was try to call him. Mr. Dinkins.
What happened when you tried to call him?
It rang and it went to voicemail.
All right. Did you try to call him more than once?
Yes.
What happened?
Same thing.
Did you subsequently discover something
Did I discover something? No.
about his phone?
Oh, it was off.
there are 2 calls that take place at 3:11 and 3:12 a.m. Those are incoming calls that come to the phone that do not register a cell tower, which would be consistent with the phone being powered off or on Wi-Fi only. In other words, not connected to the cellular network.
Okay. You had an opportunity to look at Andrea Culberson's cellular phone data.
Correct.
Okay. Were you aware that Andrea Culberson worked for AT&T?
Yes.
And were you aware that Andrea Culberson actually worked from home and had a desk with equipment associated with her responsibilities for AT&T at the home?
Yes.
Okay. If Andrea Culberson were to testify that she woke up at 3 o'clock and had tried to call Mr. Dinkins and found his phone there at the apartment, would that be consistent with her statement to law enforcement?
With her statement and her cell phone records, that would be consistent, yes.
So Andrea tried to call Henry's phone at 3:11 and at 3:12, and it went straight to voicemail. But at some point, Andrea realizes that Henry's phone is still in the apartment.
Ms. Culberson, when you noted Mr. Dinkins' phone in the bedroom on the charger and you described removing it from the bedroom, where did you plug it into to continue charging?
There was an outlet in the living room, right underneath the windows, and I just plugged it in there.
All right. What surface did you set that phone on while it was charging?
The floor.
The floor. All right.
So Andrea noticed Henry's phone was plugged into the tower in her bedroom right here. And what she did was took the phone, moved it, and plugged it up in the living room right up under this window. So when we see Henry moving around between 2 and 3, we know for a fact he moving around without his phone. So up until 3:30, we know for a fact he ain't got his phone for sure.
Yes, so then there's only activity that short period, 3:32 to 3:37. There's a kind of a burst of activity, be consistent with the phone essentially being powered on. And then again, there's no activity again until 5:54 a.m. So between that, there's no calls that take place between that time frame. So I can't say for sure that the phone would be powered off or not. It's not communicating with the network.
Okay. All right. If a cell phone is plugged in and being charged, take that scenario and apply it to these variables.
It can be, if it's plugged in and being charged, if it's not on, it's not going to register with the network. So just being plugged in is not going to register with the network. It has to be turned on.
Gotcha.
So Andrea had to have found this phone between 3:11 when she first tried to call it, and then 3:32 when the phone was powered on, which is why there was activity on Henry's phone at 3:32, 3:33, and 3:37. I wonder if Andrea was the one turning the phone on. Or does Henry have one of those phones that power on by itself once plugged in? You know what I'm saying?
You know, when I came back the second time, you know,
After being off for like 45 minutes.
yeah, I did like a little check, you know,
Okay.
and you know, and she wasn't there.
She wasn't there.
You know
Okay.
what I'm saying? So,
And you don't know what time you got back?
no, I don't remember.
Gotcha.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I bet he don't remember. Because this part was a little confusing. He tried to confuse the people right here. Because think about what he said. He said that when he came back the second time is when he realized Breasia was not there. He looked around briefly and realized she wasn't there. And I was like, second time? Because think about this. We know he was riding around between 2 and 3. So the first time he came back would have been when Andrea saw him, right? I mean, in my mind, that's what makes sense. The second time he came back is when he came back to get his son. And you want us to believe that's when you realized Breasia was missing? Nah, Henry full of shit.
I don't remember the time. I'm not gonna.
12 to 2.
I didn't even. The reason why I don't remember the time is because I didn't have my phone.
Gotcha. Where was your phone at?
It was sitting right there on the table, and I mean,
What do you mean sitting right there on the table?
it was sitting right there. Well, not on the table, I think it was sitting on a ledge.
In the apartment,
In
though.
the apartment. It was sitting.
But you were in the apartment, right?
Yes.
Okay.
No, but when I left, I didn't have my phone.
When you left to
Go down to Little Vincent's.
Little Vince's, okay. But then you got back.
Then I got back.
Okay.
and then I left again. I left twice.
And where did you leave for the second time, or what was that?
I think I went to the quick shop. Got a pack of cigarettes or something like that.
You wouldn't even remember what quick shop?
Quick shop on 53rd.
Okay. And about what time would that have been?
I don't know. Like I said, I don't know.
And you got a pack of cigarettes there?
Yes.
So the second time Henry left that apartment, he went to the quick shop. And again, he acting like he don't know nothing. So is it safe to assume that the first time he left the apartment, he's with Breasia? And then after Andrea catches him sneaking in the house to get something out his closet and seeing Breasia standing outside in the parking lot, that would have been the second time he left the apartment, correct? They got him at the quick shop buying cigarettes at about 3:33 a.m. So was this before Andrea saw him in Breasia or after? And is this why the state believes that Breasia was in that car when he ran into this quick shop? Then why is Henry implying that around this time he's out looking for Breasia? Liar.
And then how long were you looking for her approximately the first time?
What you mean the first time? I looked for a while. I've been looking for a period.
Yeah, no, but then you do come back to the apartment, you said earlier.
When I went looking for her, I did come back to get.
Yeah. So I'm asking just how long was that time frame of prior to picking up?
I don't know, sir.
Okay. But did you have your phone then when you were looking for her, or no?
No.
Okay.
I wasn't even thinking about the phone.
About the phone. I know.
I wasn't even. The phone wasn't even a concern.
Concern.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Finding her was the concern.
For sure.
No. His concern at 3:30 in the morning was buying some cigarettes.
And then.
So you got back from Quick Shop with the cigarettes, and then what happened after that?
Nothing.
No. Well. Okay. So but then you got back.
Then like I said, I got back. Oh man, I don't know what time it was, sir.
Okay, that's fine. We can move past that.
All I know is,
at one point or another, you notice that Bree is not in the
room.
Okay. And so, what do you do immediately after you notice Bree's not?
I go outside.
Go outside. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That's the first thing I did.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know, I went outside.
Okay.
Oh yeah, he went outside all right. That's how he ran into Jared at 4:30 in the morning.
He said he was stuck in a ditch. And asked if I could pull him out. And it was like 4:30 in the morning, 4:45. But I'm pretty sure he was wearing a darker shirt, like a black shirt, and white shorts, and white shoes.
Now understand this. The fact that Henry didn't have his phone, the police wouldn't have known where Henry was when he left that quick shop. But thanks to Jared, Henry was placed at the location that they eventually found Breasia's body. And so now we know between 3:30 and 4:30, Henry still does not have his phone. At some point after Jared got Henry's car unstuck, Henry made his way back to the apartment.
When you woke up, was it light or dark outside?
Morning.
It was morning, so it was light up outside?
Yep.
Okay. So when you woke up, your daddy was gone. Was Andrea there? What did you ask Andrea where anybody was?
I asked her where they at. She said she don't know, but they both left.
She said they both left?
What did you do at that point? Where did you go in the apartment?
I looked around the house and then I sat down.
Where did you sit down?
In the living room on the couch.
Do you have any idea what time of day it was at that point?
I think it was morning.
Why do you think it was morning?
Because it was a little bit daylight.
So it's starting to get light out?
Yes.
Dee, did you have a cell phone?
No.
At some point, do you recall asking Andrea for her cell phone?
Yes.
Why did you do that?
So I can call my mom or something.
Why did you want to call your mom?
Because it was just me there.
Did Andrea allow you to use her phone?
No.
So this boy then got up in the middle of the night in an unfamiliar place and cannot find his sister. And so what does he do? He asks Andrea, can I use your phone so I can call my mama? Andrea said no. Let me tell y'all something. At this moment, Andrea already know what it is. She even told us that she was feeling uneasy. She already knew what it was. So why wouldn't she allow him to call his mama? Hell, as the adult, she should have been the one calling Aisha, not him. But what did she do? She sat her ass around waiting on Henry to get back.
Describe his emotional state when he came into the apartment.
He was like normal.
Okay.
He came and got Victoria's, came and got his clothes, said we gotta go, and left.
All right. Did you ask him about Breasia and where she was at?
I did not.
Okay. Did Mr. Dinkins make any statements to you about there were issues that had developed?
No.
You don't recall any of that?
No.
All right. And then from there then, when you say that he came to get Notorious, had you discovered that his phone was still there in the apartment?
I did.
Tell us about that.
It was plugged up into like my work tower, but there was no charge. It was dead. So that was like early in the morning. So I took it off. I put it on the charger in the living room. And once it charged up and he came, I'm like, here, take your phone so I can call you.
All right.
And he took it.
All right. Now, when he came and picked up Notorious, what else did you indicate that he took?
A bag of clothes.
All right. Did he leave the apartment at that point?
He did.
When he left the apartment, did you actually reach out to him right away?
I did.
Explain.
Because I was concerned. Well, what's going on? Talk to me. What's going on?
Tell me about that.
I tried to get him to talk to me.
And what was he saying?
He wasn't saying anything.
Did you find that troubling?
Very much so.
Were you asking him about Breasia?
I did not.
Okay. So what was the type of question that you were asking him?
What's going on? Is there anything I can do? Is there anything I can help? What's going on? He's like, nope, don't want your help. I'm like, okay. I don't know how I'm supposed to react to that, but okay.
Then when I came back, Andrea was up. She like, what's wrong? I'm like, man, something ain't right. You know what I'm saying? I was freaking out a little bit. So she like, I'm like, man, I'll talk to you in a minute. Let me gotta figure this shit out. And, you know what I'm saying? Because I didn't want her stressing. You know what I'm saying? So, and then when I came back, I grabbed Dink. You know, and I'm like, man, he like, Dad, where is Bree? I said, I don't know.
So at around 5:30ish, Henry makes it back to the apartment to pick up his son DL. And that's when Andrea made him take his phone. Get your phone. And not only did he take his phone, he took DL and a bag of the kids' clothes. And after leaving with DL, Andrea called Henry at about 5:54. So we know up until 5:30, Henry didn't have his phone. But now he's moving with his phone.
When Mr. Dinkins came, so then he leaves with Notorious.
Mm-hmm.
You call him?
Yeah, because he left it there. He actually left a bag. So I called him back, that you left a bag here. He's like, okay, we're going to need that. So he came back, got the bag, and then left with Notorious.
Yeah, so Andrea calls Henry at 5:54 to tell him that he forgot one of the bags. One of the kids' bags of kids' clothes was still at the apartment. And then Henry turned around like, oh yeah, we're going to need those. I wonder if he was surprised that his phone rang. Probably scared the shit out of him. But Henry goes back to the apartment and he calls Andrea when he gets out front at 6:01. And around that time, Andrea took the clothes down to the car.
So then you pick up Dink and you guys go looking again, right?
Right.
Does that cell phone stay powered on so we could track its movement?
There's no activity after this 6:05 a.m. until 7:02 a.m., which we'll see is a completely different area.
So, in other words, between 6:05 and 7:02 a.m., Henry's phone is off. It's off. So, you turned your phone off while you were looking for Breasia? Yeah, okay. But listen, that would mean that as soon as he picked them clothes up from Andrea, soon as he pulled away, he wasn't even out the parking lot good. He turned his phone off. So what was going on with the phone at 7:02? Because if you've been following the timeline, we know where he was. At 7 in the morning, Henry was at Walmart. There you go. So again, what happened with the phone at 7:02?
What happened at 7:02 a.m.?
We had a burst of essentially activity for a very short period of time showing the phone on the network.
Okay.
And that was a considerable amount of distance away from the previous activity, which we saw in Davenport. We're now in the area near Comanche. And this activity became significant because this was the only time this phone had ever essentially traveled into that area or even to the nearby area to the left of there.
When you and Henry got to Walmart, what did you do?
I had to sit in the car.
You had to sit in the car?
Yes.
What did Henry do?
He went inside Walmart.
Did you know why you had stopped at Walmart?
I had no idea.
While you were sitting in the car, what did you do?
Put his battery back in his phone and was playing the game.
So, at some point you had seen Henry's phone in the car?
Yes.
Do you remember where it was?
By the cup holder.
By the cup holder?
Yes.
You said you had to put the battery back in the phone, is that right?
Yes.
Where was the battery?
Behind the phone.
Also in the cup holder?
Yes.
Do you remember what game you were playing?
No.
Just a game on his phone?
You said, is it on his phone?
A game on Henry's phone?
Yes.
When Henry got back to the Impala, did he have anything with him?
Bleach.
What did he do with the bleach?
He put it in the trunk.
Then what did he do?
And then we left.
So when they got to Walmart, Henry left DL in the car alone. And DL then snuck and got his phone, put the battery back in it, and started to play a game. And then at some point he realized, Daddy on his way back to the car. DL put the battery back in the phone and put everything back the way that it was. So think about this. Henry had this phone off from 6:05 to 7:02. But not only did he have the phone off, he took the battery out the damn phone. Henry did not want to be tracked. But Henry had no idea his son put the battery back in that phone. Ping, ping, ping. Got him.
Based after 7:02 a.m., we had no activity now until it's 8:09 a.m. I believe I said 8:05 before. So at 8:09 a.m., the phone is now back on. However, it is now in the southwest of Davenport area. So now again, traveled a considerable amount of time in an hour and 7 minutes since the previous transaction.
So between 7:02 and 8:09, do we have any information about the location of that phone?
No, we do not.
Did your daddy drive you anywhere?
He went a couple places.
Let's talk about where your daddy went. Where did he go?
He went to go fishing with a couple people.
He went fishing?
Yeah.
Okay.
He went fishing?
Uh-huh. Do you know where he went fishing this morning? Do you think you could take me that way?
I don't remember that way.
What if I drove you down
It's
that
a
way?
long way.
That's okay.
I don't remember. I don't remember where he was at.
Okay. So
Just the place that he got stuck.
he got stuck? His car
He
got...
needed another push.
Who helped push him?
The 6 people that he went fishing with.
He's like, and then we rolled around, and then I texted his mom. When I texted his mom, she was at work, and she was like, I'm like, hey, Bree's missing. She's like, well, stop playing with me. You know what I'm saying? Stop playing with me, Henry. So I'm like, man, no, I'm not playing. I'm for real. And she was like, stop playing with me. And I said, look, man, I'm not playing. So I gave Dink the phone. Dink told her, like, Mom, we don't know where she at. So then he handed me the phone back, and I'm like, I got to talk to him, like, man, your mom mad at me. He said, Dad, I don't understand why Mom mad at you. You know, you haven't done nothing. I'm like, I mean, but I'm still responsible. You know what I'm saying?
So from 7:02 to 8:08, 8:09, the phone is off. And he only turned that phone on to call Aisha, Breasia's mother.
Well, so at 8:08, I had got a text that said, call me. I was trying to call Mr. Dinkins' phone. No answer. I want to say I called him twice. And then I sent a text message, and I told him that I wasn't going to play telephone. Call me when you get this message. I'm at work. And seconds later, he called me right back, and he asked me, was Bree with me? And I said, what you mean, is Bree with me? She wouldn't stay the night with you. I'm at work. That would make sense. And he was like, well, I just woke up, and she's gone.
Now, ain't that something? And guess what? After this initial phone call with Aisha, Henry leaves his phone on, and then he meets up with her at 8:55.
Your mom?
Yeah.
Okay. What's up, Henry? So when was the last time you saw her?
She was in the house.
Yeah, when was the last time you saw her?
9:30.
Last night?
9:30.
Okay. Okay.
With him.
Okay. When was the last time you saw her?
She was in the bed when I woke up this morning.
She was in the bed?
Yeah.
When you went to bed last night? Okay.
This is crazy, man. This is like, you know what I'm saying? I know she fucking going fucking hysterical, big brother.
Yeah. How many times have you guys stayed out here?
How many times have I been out here? The kids, this is their first time.
Oh, it's the very first time she's ever stayed here. And so
She's been over here, but they never stayed.
She has never stayed here.
Like I said,
So I wonder just. I mean,
this is such a small.
we get.
She's not in our look. She's gonna open the door, man. She's gonna open.
What's her name?
She's gonna open.
Hi there. Are you Andrea?
Henry seems so agitated with this encounter. And when he walks away from this officer, he received a flurry of phone calls from Aisha, Andrea, and this officer. And then at some point, Henry turned his phone off around 10 a.m.
So this is showing 10:08 activity at 10:08 a.m. And during this time frame, there's an outgoing call to Andrea Culberson for 167 seconds. After this time frame, there's no other tower activity until 11:10 a.m. During this time, this is one of those times where I can say that the phone is off. During this time, there's 22 incoming calls to Mr. Dinkins' phone that do not hit cell towers and all go directly to voicemail.
So Henry talked to Andrea for about 2 or 3 minutes. As soon as he got off the phone with her, he turned his phone back off. Why? Breasia's missing, and everybody's trying to get in touch with him. And he don't want to be bothered. But we know that phone was off from 10:08 a.m. to 11:10 a.m.
So we begin at 11:14 with calls on the northeast sector of the tower identified. Again, 11:14, 11:15. All those calls are outgoing calls to Andrea Culberson. And then next we have 11:22 on sector 2. Another that's an incoming call that ends up being forwarded. And then after that, 11:24 and 11:26 on the right-hand side of the screen facing back to the left, which is an outgoing call at 11:24 and an incoming call from Aisha Langford at 11:26.
Okay, now we're seeing that phone hitting off different towers. What location of town is this activity occurring in?
This is now kind of in the more downtown Davenport, a little slightly to the west.
During this time, Henry didn't got in touch with his mama and his sister. He didn't went to his mama house. And his phone was on up until he reached the police station at noon.
Harry? What's up, Doc? You didn't see your phone? No, I was calling the officer back. Yeah, I'm down. Okay. Hello?
Okay, what's taking you so long to answer my phone call and text messages?
Well, I didn't see your phone call. I just answered it just now, did I?
Okay, you're at the police station?
Yes, sir. I'm right here right now.
Henry ain't fooling nobody. I hope he don't think for 1 second that we don't understand what just happened here. We know exactly what's going on here. And this is what we know. His phone was off during these times right here. And the most crucial time is 2 a.m. to 5:30 a.m. when he didn't have his phone. Something happened to Breasia, and he took her out there to that credit island, and he left 2 bullet holes in her chest and 1 bullet in her face. So, to hell with Henry.
Okay. And so would you be fine if we downloaded the phone to have the call logs and the text?
For what reason?
To corroborate everything here about the call logs and the text. It helps everyone out.
Download my phone.
To get the call logs to show that those calls were made at those certain times.
I can show you my phone. I can just show you my phone.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying? You want to see? I can just show you my phone. I mean, I can just open up my phone and let you go on my phone. Thank you, son. Why are you looking at me to do my password?
Well, that's what I asked.
No, I said I will open it for you.
Yeah,
but
I'm
not going to give you my password.
Okay.
I will open it for you so you can look in my phone, but I'm not going to give you my password.
Okay. And then you're just going to lock it?
Yes, right after you finish looking.
Yeah.
Like I said, I was going to ride until I couldn't ride no more. You know what I mean?